Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team and technology that help you prepare for retirement, children's education, or other financial goals. Call 252-473-1006 or visit the link on the screen. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team and technology that help you prepare for retirement, children's education, or other financial goals. Call 252-473-1006 or visit the link on the screen. Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team.
Can't hold me now, I'm trying to keep from staying low. Low key is over, you can't reach what you don't know. I'm moving different, running circles round them folk. They say your failures teach you everything and more. Look.
All right. It's Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. I'm your host, Addul Ali. I hope you all are having a fantastic, wonderful, and amazing morning thus far. If you haven't done so already, we need you to go over to tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership, support the platform. There's a bunch of ways that you can support the platform. You can sponsor an episode of this show. You can get yourself a work privilege mug or a t-shirt or something like that to suit your fancy. As you can see there, we've got that exclusive TUC mug and that work privilege gear. So we need you to run on over to tuconservative.com, support the platform. We got to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors and supporters and underwriters and folks that help us keep spreading conservatism in urban areas across the country. Again, tuconservative.com. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you notice on the top of that webpage, there's a link that says Ali for NC. And if you click on that link that says Ali for NC, what you're going to find is that I have made my announcement that I am running to become the next vice chairman of the North Carolina Republican Party. I'm so used to saying the Cabarrus County Republican Party, but you could go to tuconservative.com/Ali for NC. If you are a delegate to the North Carolina State GOP Convention, I would love an opportunity to talk to you, earn your support, and let's make NCGOP a winner in 2024 and beyond that. That's what we're trying to do. So over the coming weeks, I'll be making more announcements. I'll be talking about my plans for urban engagement and all these other things that we need to do to continue to make the North Carolina Republican Party great. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I've made my formal announcement that I am seeking to become the next vice chairman of the NCGOP. Now, for this morning's show, y'all, I know a lot of people are wondering, you've heard all of this stuff about different political parties. Somebody was trying to start a Patriot Party, and then somebody else are trying to start what did they call it? The New Republican Party and all this kind of things. But I recently found out that there is a thing called the Redemption Party. Okay? This is the Redemption Party. And apparently this party has one candidate who has decided she is going to run for president. Her name is Ashaki Noni Nichols, grassroots candidate located in Georgia, looking to fill the highest seat in the land. This candidate has the courage to put to put her ring in the hat for this position. What does that even mean? Put her ring in the hat? How are you running for president, girl, and you ain't even get the daggone thing right? Put
Yeah,
her.
when she meant to say hat in the ring. Yeah, Ashaki, you need to get that fixed, Noni. Okay.
No, no, that ain't gonna do it. Put her ring in the hat for this position. Please visit her website and show her some support. You can donate directly to her website or donate to her website here. Now, I'm not going to click on either one of those links, bro, but I swear to God, if they go to the same place, I'm going to lose my
All right,
mind.
yo, and listen. Why are you using the Wix free template?
Redeeming America. Redemption Party. What in the high fangled logo crap is this? Back to sovereignty. I just had to read this. We are a party that holds to fiscal responsibility, limited government, institutional sovereignty. What does that sound like? Huh. That kind of sounds like another party I've heard of. Okay. We have traditional values that have been the cornerstone of our country's success. This party has a mission to strive to bring the country back together and on one page of being the United States, not divided. Okay. We have taken far too long to have equal justice, equal pay, and equal living standards for our citizen. It is time to get the country on a path to redemption. Become a redemptionist. Yo, I have never met a Democratist or
I'm
a
dying over here in the
Republicanist.
background. I'm
Are
dying.
you a Republicanist, bro? Oh, become a redemptionist and join us in our mission as we set forth to bring redemption back to the United States of America. I got to read the platform, bro. I got to read the platform. Redemption, an act of redeeming or atoning for a fault or mistake or the state of being redeemed. Party position. Let's get this a whirl. We need to get back to fiscal responsibility in this country. Sure, I agree with that. And ensure that we get back to the gold standard. Putting some, sounds like y'all want to do away with the Federal Reserve. Okay. The digital age is here, and we must ensure that all forms of currency have the backing of an element or precious metal. Like I said, y'all want to do away with the fiat currency and the Federal Reserve. Okay. The spending in Washington is out of control, and we need candidates that will stand up and fight for the American people, not for themselves. I don't know how them two things, like that wasn't a smooth transition from the precious metal thing to the spending thing, but I'll digress on that point. The government overreach in Washington is at a fevered. It's supposed to be fevered pitch, not fever pitch. Who wrote this? We need limited government, not more government. At the federal level, there needs to be more accountability for where our tax dollars and going. Come on, lady. You're supposed to be running for president. Y'all supposed to be a political party. This doesn't even make sense. There needs to be more accountability for where our tax dollars and going and what our representatives are doing. The less we have government spending on other countries, I can agree with that. The more we can get done here at home, I can agree with that. Our candidates are dedicated to ensuring that federal dollars are
I'm
used
giving
for.
you a minute and 15 more seconds with this nonsense.
All right, I just had to read this. Hold on. We need to get back to the Constitution and not see it as an old document. Hey, Ra, isn't technically the Constitution an old document? I mean, I'm sorry, but
Old as hell.
the document has given us the freedoms that we enjoy today. Those freedoms have given to us by God, not our government. Wait the hell a second. Hold on. The document has given us our freedoms. Those freedoms have been given us to. But okay, so let me just stop and say this right now. This ain't going nowhere. You ain't got no chance at all. This is probably a money grab for Miss Ashaka, Miss Noni. So nah, but that's not it. The reason I brought this up was because she was hypercritical of Biden and his State of the Union address. She had made some mentions. She had talked about. She called for accountability in terms of money spent in Ukraine, which we all agree with. But she was also
Scroll
critical,
back up
which
and put the picture up.
you want me to go back up and put her picture up? Hold on. Hold on. I'll put her picture back up. This is her right here. That's the there. Okay.
All right.
She is the one
Y'all
that
can, does she look like she's your next president?
does she does not look like the next president. Sorry, sis, but nah. Nah,
And
and we didn't even
I'm
get
not
a
even talking smack, but if I show this,
you didn't even
yo, she did
uh-huh.
not. No.
She didn't even get a high res pick, bro. I was like, come on, we could have got a photo shoot done. Like we could have got that. If you running for president, B, I'm gonna need you to get that. But she was hypercritical of Biden to the extent where I agree with her. That is on the need for fiscal restraint in supporting other countries, especially, and we're gonna talk about this on the other side of our commercial break, especially with what's happening in our country, the amount of money that's being spent on it to house illegal immigrants and things like that. So while we might agree a little bit on a couple of things, nah, bruh, we ain't rocking with the redemption party. We're going to take a quick commercial break right here on Top of the Morning. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are back on Top of the Morning. I'm your host, Addul Ali. You're checking out the best 30 minutes morning show on the planet. Yo, Rock, give me some music in the background. I feel so lonely this morning. I feel like we don't have no vibe, no swag this morning. But check this out, folks. Your tax dollars, federal tax dollars, and the hardworking citizens of New York City, migrants are housed in 85 hotels as Eric Adams funnels taxpayer money to the real estate industry. Since spring of last year, Texas Governor Abbott and a couple of other governors have bused more than 45,000 migrants to New York City. They call it a sanctuary jurisdiction that has long prided itself on shielding illegal aliens from arrest and deportation. Now, a couple of days ago, Mayor Adams announced a new migrant hotel that the city will open on Long Island City in Queens, where the Wingate by Wyndham will be available with 144 new rooms for the newly arrived border crossers, and it's all being paid for by New York City citizens, by New York taxpayers. For tourists looking to stay at the Wingate, the average stay is $600 a night. Altogether, 85 hotels have been commissioned by Adams' administration to house migrants, in a massive shift of wealth from taxpayers directly to the city's most powerful real estate industry and new arrivals. Of the $850,000 the new mayor raised during his first 6 months in office, more than half of it from outside the city he governs, and at least $156,000 stem from people working in the real estate industry. The total haul might be higher, as some donors don't disclose their employers. Many of Adams' real estate donors gave him $2,000, which was $100 shy of the maximum he's allowed to receive from a single donor. A few exceeded the maximum donation, such as a gentleman by the name of Azar, who cut checks for $4,000 in late April. So here you have the mayor of New York City funneling money to the real estate folks, the rich real estate people, at the expense of the taxpayer, and these are federal dollars. These ain't just New York City dollars. This is me and your federal dollars going to house people in $600 a night hotel rooms, while the average American citizen can't get no help. While the average hardworking mom and dad of two can't get any help with their mortgage. Why you can't get any relief on your taxes. Why you can't get any extra break on the health care. It's not, when's the last time you went to the doctor and he was like, yo, I'm gonna take 50% off this x-ray? When's the last time you went to anywhere, you called Duke Energy or your power company and they was like, you know what? You're a hardworking American taxpayer. I'm going to take 50% off your bill. When's the last time somebody gave you a free stay? And this whole idea, this migrant thing, why don't Eric Adams pay for it? Since you're y'all, New York City, y'all want to be so pro-illegal immigrant, illegal alien, why are you tasking the taxpayer to pay for this stuff? It's absolutely jacked up and ridiculous. 85 hotels, okay? Local reports have suggested that Adams migrant hotels have run off tourism, businesses for other hotels, restaurants, and shops, as Americans are avoiding encountering the illegal immigrants in the city. Nobody wants to deal with them. We're not talking about these people aren't human beings. Nobody's saying that, because you're in the country illegally. We're not attacking your humanity. We're not doing any of that. What we're suggesting here is that there is a process to enter this country legally. You present yourself at a border, you deal with the process legally. But if you're crossing the border illegally, you shouldn't be getting free stuff. American citizens who work hard do not get free stuff. I'm trying to think of when the last time I got some free stuff. I can't even technically, I had this conversation with a friend of mine last night. You can't even say that the condiments that they give you when you go to the fast food window is free because you paid for the food. That's built into the cost of the food. You don't get free anything. So for us as a country, for these cities, these municipalities, and for these sanctuary states, it is just so rude and disrespectful to the average American citizen and to the immigrant who came to this country and did it the right way. But I suggest the Democrats don't care about that. Particularly owners of businesses and restaurants that sit around the migrant hotels have said their sales and foot traffic are down majorly. The owners told the New York Post that they are considering or planning layoffs as their neighborhoods descend into ghost towns. Sources close to Eric Adams' office have revealed that the cost estimate...
Hold on. I can't let this. I'm in New York.
Yeah.
I voted for him. All of y'all complaining, y'all voted for him. You voted for him.
You voted for the guy. You voted for him.
That's all I can say is you picked him.
You got, this is your guy.
Let me ask y'all a question. Do
Right.
y'all think Curtis Slewa would have let this rock?
Curtis Slewa would not have let that rock like that.
Listen. I'm not a big Curtis Slewa guy. I have my reasons, right? There's certain things that he said that I don't agree with.
Right.
I don't think he would have allowed this to happen as the mayor of the city.
I don't think so either. Well, sources close to Eric Adams' office have revealed that the cost estimate to you, bro, to New Yorkers, to house, clothe, educate, and provide medical services to newly arrived illegal border crossers is set to exceed $4 billion over the next 2 years. What could New York do with additional $4 billion? With $4 billion, what about some roads? What about some educational programs? What about supporting teachers? What about hiring more police officers? What about, I could think of a million things to do with $4 billion. And the sad part about this is you're going to hear people on the left say, oh, but you're dehumanizing them. They're people and they need a place to stay too because they're people and they're people. So we got to make sure that we're respecting the humanity of the people. Okay. I'm sorry. The same people saying this, I don't see all the homeless people in New York City getting free hotel stays that been New Yorkers. What about the senior citizens that get priced out of their homes because of their reduced incomes? They're on Social Security income, and you know the rent ain't getting no cheaper in New York. You know tax rates ain't getting no lower in New York. Why? How come y'all aren't up in arms about protecting New Yorkers, actual New Yorkers, and actual American citizens? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the crux of the problem there in New York. So $4 billion over the next 2 years to clothe, house, feed, educate illegal immigrants on your taxpayer dime. Not just the New York City taxpayer, not just the New York State taxpayer. All of us are paying to make sure that these illegal immigrants, and we're not, again, last thing before I take the break, I just want to, because I know we as conservatives, we get beat up for this. We get saying, you don't care, they're people to you. Yes, they're people, but they are people who have broken the law. There are people who are in our country illegally. There are people who are utilizing resources that should be given to American citizens. Y'all tried to give these illegal immigrants a chance to vote. Didn't make any daggone sense. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a very quick commercial break. We're going to come back with the last segment of Top of the Morning. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on The Urban Conservative. We'll be right back. This season of the Urban Conservative podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Top of the Morning. You're checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. I'm your host, Addul Ali. Really appreciate you all being with us here. If you don't mind, jump on over to tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership. That Hamilton plan is only $10. That's the way we keep the dice rolling on these parts. We really appreciate our good friend, State Senator Paul Newton here in North Carolina for supporting the platform. Got to give a big shout out to my man Rick over at RJ Auto Services. If you need some auto services in the Charlotte area, that's the homie to go see. Big Rick RJ over at RJ Auto Services. Last but not least, man, so I made an announcement yesterday that I am running to become the next vice chairman of the NCGOP. And on this last segment, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that. And this is the important reason why I'm doing it. You know, I've spent the last 2 years as a chairman in Cabarrus County. We've had some successes. We've had some challenges. You know, obviously, we were not successful with the Brian Echevarria race, which is something, for me is a little bit of a sore spot. But I learned so much in the last 2 years about what it means to be a leader in the GOP, what we need to do to be effective. I've heard from so many counties. I've probably visited 70 counties already. And I'm telling you, folks, the sentiment on the ground in North Carolina is that we need fighters up at the NCGOP. So part of my platform and running is I want to create an urban engagement strategy. I want to work with the chairman and the district chairs in Wake and Durham and Meck and Orange and areas where the GOP is just not fighting for these races. You know, I watched the hard work of all those Mecklenburg volunteers. I got to give a big shout out to Sarah Reedy Jones and the entire Mecklenburg County Republican Party. They put up a gallant fight on the municipal side of things. They put up a gallant fight on the state house side of things. But I think we can do more. And I think we need to have leadership that is present in these urban areas. We need to develop, get all of these folks together in a room. And we need to come up with an urban engagement strategy that'll not just make the Republican Party base come out, but that'll make our party attractive to the unaffiliated voters who, by and large, share our values. Because we're talking about people who don't want their daughters getting beat up by boys who think they're girls in schools. We're talking about people who don't want age inappropriate materials in the classroom. We're talking about people who don't want the government overreach and the government spying and the government treating our parents who want to go to school boards as terrorists. So we have an opportunity in front of us in 2024 to do some amazing things. Now, another side of this, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to see Mark Robinson announce for governor any day now. I think he's going to be successful in winning the Republican primary. But I also think that we're going to have leadership in the NCGOP that can go out and really fight for Mark Robinson, not just showing up to the Republican events. I love going to Republican events. I love being at, the Lincoln Reagan dinners and the cookouts and all that stuff is great. But we're going to have to be in places Republicans don't normally show up. And I've got a record. There's so many of our Republican leaders that will tell you, I will go to these communities. I will advocate for Republicans. I will argue. I will fight. I will listen. I'll do everything it takes to get people to understand that, number one, the Republican conservative policies are going to benefit our state. We've got a $3-point-something billion surplus. That's only because of conservative policies and conservative ideas and fiscal responsibility. So those are things I want to share. And we need to be in Charlotte. We need to be in Raleigh. We need to be in Durham. We need to be in Winston-Salem. We need to be out there in Jacksonville and in Onslow and all of these places fighting to share this message. And that's what I want to bring to the table. So an urban engagement strategy that will work to help us win and be competitive in some of these other areas. Another thing that I want to do, and I'll just share this with you folks, I have a record of defending and supporting not only our plan of organization. I've had to hold people accountable to it in my county, and I believe that we should be held accountable to our plan of organization. If not, what's the point of having it? But I also think we need to be holding our elected officials accountable to the platform. We need to be making sure that we have viable communication between our state, federal, and local elected officials and the party and the voters. And I've said this and I'll say it publicly again. I dare say we would not have seen as many counties censuring Tom Tillis and Richard Burr over their vote on the marriage amendment had there been better communication. I don't know any Republican leader in this state that wouldn't have stopped what they were doing to get on a phone call with Senator Tillis, to get on a phone call or a brief Zoom call to say, hey guys, this is what's coming down the pike. This is why I'm voting this way. At least we would have been able to go back and talk to our constituencies and say, hey, this is why he's doing this, or this is why that's happening. But without that level of communication to the leaders of the party, that's why we're in the situation we're in. So one of the things I also want to do is I want to make sure we're opening up those lines of communication and make sure our federal elected and our state elected officials understand the importance of communicating with Republican leaders in the state. So just a couple of things. And we're going to be releasing videos. We're going to be touring the state. I plan on hitting all 100 counties between now and June. I think I've already got 40 events lined up already. So I am looking forward to coming to a county near you to hear from you, the Republicans of North Carolina, about what you want from your leadership, what you want to see. And I'm just excited. I'm ready to get to work for you, the Republicans of North Carolina. You can go to tuconservative.com/Ali for NC. There you see it on your screen right there. If you want to help me at the convention, you can also sign up there to register for updates, or you can reach out to us at alifornc@gmail.com. So ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm just beyond excited. I'm just ready to rock and roll and get out there and continue meeting with the Republicans of the state to find out what they need and what they want. And I'm ready to get to work for you. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, you have been checking out Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. I am your host, Addul Ali. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope you have a positive and productive day, and we'll see you soon here on the Urban Conservative. Y'all have a good one. This season of the Urban Conservative podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.